Have you ever maybe felt like you've bitten off more than you can chew? Have you ever been in a sink or swim situation? It's January 2018. I'm staring at an icy expanse of water. I'm wearing a Speedo swimming costume, a silicone cap. I've got earplugs, I'm holding goggles, and I've nothing else. I am terrified. The water in front of me is cold. I mean cold. Think cold tap water. Make that twice as cold. The water in front of me is 3.7 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to swim a mile in this water. And the reason I'm going to swim a mile in this water, because I'm preparing to swim the English Channel. Some madcap middle-aged mum thing made me decide to sign up for the English Channel. And I know I need to trigger serious adaptation. I've got to learn to harness the power of perseverance so that I can get through an incredible swim in a few months' time. But hang on, who's this in my head? I can't get him out of my head. It's my school swim coach. He's peering down at me, his grey eyes, his grey hair, and he's shouting at me, "Nick, get out the pool." Why? "Nick, you're too slow, get out the pool." What do you mean? I thought I was going to be in the school swim team. "No, you're too slow." "But didn't you see Louise grabbed my ankle and she pulled me under the water?" "Louise is in the team, Pope, get out." My cheeks burned crimson shame. I was upset. I was distressed. I was distraught. I was actually angry because some cheat had stolen my place in the school swim team. And all my swimming ambitions drowned at that point for the best part of 40 years before I really got back swimming again. And here he is, this neckhead, and I just have to get him out of my head because I've got no time for prisoners. I'm staring at seriously scary water, and if I can get my courage to swim this swim, I can swim any swim. I crunch my feet into the sand beneath me. I step forwards. I push into the water. This is colder than I have ever been before. I push forwards into the water. I can't swim front crawl because the wind, the air is just gone from my lungs. I see the first marker buoy in front of me. It seems just so far away. And at this temperature, it would be easier to swim through treacles, seriously, because the water, it feels like concrete. It's so heavy, I can barely move my limbs. But I've got my goal, I've got my marker buoy. I get to my marker buoy and I push out and I complete the first circuit of the lake. But it takes me half an hour. By now, I am seriously cold because not only am I in 3.7 Celsius, body temperature dissipates 25 times faster in water than air. So can you imagine just standing in your swimming costume in 3.7 Celsius for half an hour? How would you feel? 25 times more colder than that. I'm really struggling. It is so hard to push past my loved ones on the shore as I go round for the second circuit. I can feel the love of my wife, of my son. I so want to come in for a warm embrace, but would you fail in front of your kids? If you're trying to show them tough, if you're trying to show them what you can do, would you really want to just get out and be a failure? But as soon as I've turned my back on them, I feel cold. The water is so cold. I feel I'm almost tugged down into the water. I gulp water, not air. I spit it out. This is serious. I know I'm on the edge of hypothermia. I can feel my body is harder and harder to move. I don't know how much long I've got. I try and swim as fast as I can. It's like being in slow-mo. I can barely move my limbs. And again, I'm under the water. Am I drowning? This sure isn't how I wanted to celebrate a weekend in front of my son. Oh, mummy's drowning over there. This isn't how I plan it at all. I determine I must continue. I have a plan. I'm going to swim to a count of 10. And then if I can do that, I'll begin again. Okay, so here goes. And by the time I get to 4, my arm is creaking round. 5, I'm somehow losing a grip on the water. 6, I'm smashing. It feels like I'm sinking into the water. And 7, and it's gone. I've lost my balance. I've lost my forward momentum. And worst of all, I've lost my memory. I can't remember the number after 7. Have you ever been in a situation where something that you take for granted, something that you know you can do every day, all day long, something so simple as counting to 10, you can't do? For whatever reason, you can't do it. I'm not having this. I go again. 1 and 2 and 3. I've got this. But false confidence. 4, the arm is heavy again. And 5, and again, I've lost it. I can't remember the number after 5. I'm not having this because if I fail now, I may not live. I'm right on the edge of survival. I can see the world is black and white. Colour has gone from the world because my brain is freezing. And worse than just losing colour, I'm aware of clouds of black squeezing the periphery of my vision. It's now or never. 1 and 2 and 3. What is the number after 3? Can anyone remember the number after 3? Have you ever stumbled, but in such a way you just do not want to fail? You do not want to fail in front of your kids, in front of your family, because to fail now would be to fail everything. What the heck? This memory, this miraculous memory comes into my head. It's like I'm surrounded in white light. I'm remembering driving with my son. He's 1 and a big bit year old, and he is proud as punch because he is learning to count. And as we drive past the trees, he points his pudgy little finger at these trees, and he's counting 1 and 1 and 1, and that's my solution. So here I go. 1, I can do that. I go again. 1 and 1. I achieve my goal. The difficulty, I couldn't imagine counting beyond 3, but 1 I can do. So I go again. 1 and 1 and 1. This is incredible. Something that was beyond my imagination, beyond my capability. At that point in time, I couldn't count beyond 3, but I've changed the task. And now I can go 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. And clearly I live to tell the tale. And I'm very grateful that I managed to get to the end of that ice mile. I still have the record for the UK's most extreme ice mile because it actually took me over an hour to get round beyond the point I should have been alive. But I'm really glad that I broke that particular record. What I learnt in that moment was probably the most important aspect of my journey towards swimming the English Channel, because I had to massively develop the skills of perseverance. And I think perseverance is an attribute that particularly excites me. And perseverance is relevant for all of us in the room. I think perseverance is particularly a skill, an attribute that's within all women. It may be controversial, but I think we're biologically primed for perseverance. We can deal with fatigue, exhaustion, having to make decisions. And in fact, some of the research on some of the most extreme ultra athletes in the world show that possibly one of the reasons why women are so good at ultra endurance is because of their power of perseverance. Women seem to have the ability to experience fatigue, exhaustion, even mental confusion, but then somehow use emotions to reframe that experience and enable the impossible to become I am possible. I was never a very good swimmer, but I managed to swim the English Channel. But I have friends, Chloe McArdle, she has swum the English Channel more than any other human in history. She swum the English Channel 44 times. A couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember, it was in the news, Sarah Thomas, an American woman fighting cancer, managed to swim from England to France, to England, to France, and back again. She did 4 laps of the English Channel. Now that's actually 39 miles further than anyone has ever swum in those conditions. So quite incredible. So perseverance is within all of us. And I believe particularly at this point in the 21st century, we strive for comfort. It's a bit cold, turn the heating on. We don't experience discomfort much in our life, but when we embrace difficult experiences, actually that's where the growth is, outside the comfort zone. And when we push ourselves through difficult situations, we not only achieve more, but we can also enable other people to achieve more. So I very much credit that I Smile Swim with giving me the foundation to, a few months later, be able to swim the English Channel. And on that journey, because I'd taken myself out of my comfort zone, I managed to have the confidence to say no to all the neckheads. Anyone who tried to tell me I wasn't doing something, no, short shrift, you can be gone, I'm doing it. Has anyone ever been told that they can't do something and they really wanted to do it? And isn't that great when you just get on and do it anyway? And having taken that step, I found my tribe, because I had the confidence to associate with people that had done the thing that I wanted to do. I remember being almost frightened to be near a channel swimmer, because I thought they were kind of godly in some way, because it was so much what I wanted to do. But I got the confidence to be with that community, to swim with those swimmers, to go on their swim camps, to become friends, and to learn from them. Really, if there's anything you want to do in life, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you can find someone who's done the thing that you want to do, find them, be friends with them, and they'll share you and help you on your journey. And so that's what I did. And I think for me, though, the thing that I'm ultimately the proudest of as a direct result of swimming the English Channel, I had the opportunity to coach 2 fantastic boatloads of kids, 12 to 16-year-olds, and I coached them to swim the English Channel. And this bunch of kids before the Channel, you could say they swam like drowning dogs, they're neurally diverse. On the boat there's a load of autistic kids, ADHD, highly anxious. But through the strategies that we use to swim the Channel and train the mind, they not only achieved that goal, they achieved greater confidence in all of their life. And they really helped me, because they raised £35,000 for MainCap, which is great. It's my personal goal to raise £100,000 for MainCap, and I've only got 30 to go. We're at 70 now. MainCap's a really important charity for me. It's got high brand recognition but low donations. It's the UK's #1 learning disability charity, and loads of us probably imagine the things that MainCap provides should be provided by government, but actually not. My sister-in-law massively benefits from the support from MainCap for her severely autistic son. She's tearful at the idea she wouldn't have that support, because She relies on the support from MenCap just so they can do the weekly shopping. And so the support to MenCap isn't just for my autistic nephew, it's really for the whole of the family. And MenCap also deal in some really difficult truths, some unpalatable truths. There's a campaigning element that is disquieting and disturbing. It was MenCap, for example, that did the research that was promoted by the BBC. At the height of COVID, if you had a learning disability, serious learning disability, and you're between the age of 18 and 35, you're 30 times more likely to have died of COVID. And that really sickens me, actually. We call ourselves a civilized society, but we really don't look after the vulnerable within us. So I have a proposition. If you can help me on my next journey, I'm going to be swimming 28 miles around Manhattan in September. My proposition, if you dig into your bag, you'll find a leaflet, and I've got 3 potential offerings for you. Oh, look, someone's clicked that. That's even better. Thank you. So look, if you will donate some money to MenCap, and there's a tiny little link in the leaflet under the phone number, there's a little link. If you donate some money to MenCap, and it would be good if it was at least 99 quid, because that's less than half my normal hourly rate, then I'll offer you one of 3 discovery options. The first is reset. I'm going to share with you something that I share with my swim kids before we swim. Okay, so can everyone in the room please now take a really deep breath? Aha. You did what I used to do. Nearly all of us then took a deep breath and raised our shoulders. Now, when we do that, we're bringing air into our thoracic cavity. And that's actually the place that anxiety and stress comes from. If you hold air there, you're not making the easiest of life. And isn't it interesting that women are often told to breathe there to keep their waistlines good, but then it messes up the rest of their life. Okay, so now I'd like us to take 6 breaths, yeah? 6 breaths. And the first 3, we're going to try and breathe in to our mouths, and we're going to send that air to the belly, and then we're going to release from the mouth. And the second 3, we're going to breathe in and release from the nose. And we're going to try and not raise our shoulders. So start with, put your hand on your belly, and when you breathe, send your air to your hand. Okay, let's go. And now from the nose. And in a crowded room, we're all more relaxed. You can feel stress dissipate. And it's as simple as breathing. Doesn't matter whether you're in the gym and you want to lift more weights, or if you're stressed at the end of the day. If you know how to breathe better, you'll live better. So I'm inviting all of you to a workshop that will include breathing. And for those of you who are very brave, you can join me on a less warm water swim. I'm not going to shove anyone in ice, and it's optional, and it's between half an hour or 15 minutes and half an hour. But I will say that open water swimming is the fastest growing sport in the world. And I especially love it because most of the year there's a whole load of super fit, skinny swimmers who fly by. But between October and May, it's all on me. My biotherm is protecting me, and I can handle cold better than anyone. And do you know what? There is a fantastic bunch of particularly women or men who understand female energy. And we meet together and we go cold water swimming, and there are a lot of laughs. Partly because we all look ridiculous in our costumes. A lot of us don't wear wetsuits, so you've got to be open-minded. There's there's the feel-good factor that comes from when you're in cold water. The cold just eviscerates stress. You cannot be stressed when you're in cold water. You can't. It just goes, and you're just concentrating on taking your next breath, taking your next breath. And when you come out of that cold, all the endorphins kick in and you've got a natural high. It boosts your health, it boosts your immune system, and then of course there's all the cake. So that's a good thing. So some of you might want a reset, and obviously resetting in life helps create the space and clarity for other bigger things. The other fun that I have is recharge, because it's all right to reset, but we can do more if we recharge. Now, along my tortuous journey to becoming a channel swimmer, I had to recharge many times. And the particular trick that I've got, I can share with people. I've got a private pool, so it's a one-to-one opportunity to have one-to-one swim coaching from me. And actually, the secret is it's all about recharging your brain. And it's about how to work with your brain and work with your intent to get to the crest of the wave or wherever you want to go. Obviously, I do coach channel swimmers, and I can do that. And I can coach elite athletes. To be honest, my absolute love is when I coach someone who's terrified of water, or if I coach a dyslexic child or a deaf child, because the feedback, the buzz from helping people achieve the best of what they can achieve is enormous. It looks like swimming, it's secretly brain training, it's all about recharging. And option 3 is something that in a way I've almost tried to get away from in recent years, but I think the times are changing and lots of people are asking me to do this again. Option 3 is about reward. It comes from partly a place, a lot of swimmers say to me, oh yeah, it's all right, Nick, you go and swim in California or Mexico, you do the channel, you do this really expensive swimming, but we can't do that. It's all right for you. Look, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. But many years ago, when I first doubted the wisdom of reincarnation, I decided I wanted my one life to be the best life it could be. And I wanted for myself and my spouse, my partner, my family, I want freedom of time and freedom of location. And to do that, the vehicle for me, the wealth creator, is UK property, residential property. And there's loads of us in the room. You know what? Property is not that hard. It's like planting an acorn and getting a tree. It's simple, but it's not easy. For everyone in the room, if you were interested in creating wealth, I think property is one of the best ways to go, because you can actually improve your own situation and help other people at the same time and get really well paid for it. So what's not to like? And I don't really care if you've got time but no money, or if you've got money and no time. As long as you've got one of those things, you need to have either money or time and be willing to seriously commit. But as long as you've got one of those things, if you want more financial reward, I can help you with that as well. So I'm happy to more than half my normal hourly rate and give you a personal plan to set you on the road if that's something that would appeal. So I'd be very grateful if you do consider supporting me on my fundraising journey for MenCap. In any event, you've also got in your bag a snuddy, which is useful as, do we dare say, mask. I use mine as a scarf when I go jogging. But enjoy your snuddy, and thank you very much for your time today.